Double life. My wife and I have been together for 25 years, married for the past 16 years. We have 3 boys, twin 10-year-old and a 4-year-old. We started dating when she was 18 and I was 21. She's only had 2 partners before me. I've had my share. We were both faithful for the entire time we were together. Infidelity sickened both of us. She was so paranoid about me cheating that it was discussed on a weekly basis, and the mantra infidelity equals divorce was a recurring theme. Our marriage was good as compared to most of our friends. Our intimacy was lacking, as I now know, but the bonding was always outstanding. I had anger and control issues. She had a major spending problem. Our marriage was that of a parent-child relationship. In February of 2019, she found her boyfriend from 10th grade on Facebook, whom she hadn't seen in about 27 years. The chatting was innocent at first as I was monitoring it, old friends catching up. It went on for about a month. Then unbeknown to me it moved off of FB to her cell phone. Move forward to July, my intuition told me to check her cell phone. I read a text message that said, "I want you." I couldn't read any more as I was shocked. She caught me reading and I gave her the phone back. She insisted it was just playful fun. I can't explain why I believed the BS. I suppose I wanted to believe that she would never cheat on me. Additionally, the was on the other coast and was somewhat of a loser, so I didn't feel threatened and chose to believe her. Move forward to December 2019 and my intuition told me to check our cell phone bill. I found a single 1-minute call to the again. I confronted her. She said we had been fighting that night and she called him but realized it was wrong and hung up before he answered. Turns out later that she lost her secret prepaid cell phone that she purchased after I discovered the "I want you" text and called him on her primary phone to warn him not to answer in case I found the phone and called. Each of these 2 times, we went for counseling for a month or 2 and I presumed things were okay with us as she was telling all of her friends that things with us were really good. Move forward to the end of February 2020. I just didn't feel something was right. Her drinking seemed excessive, 2 to 3 glasses of wine a night. She was smoking pot, which she hadn't done in the 24 years prior, and just seemed really unhappy. I also started to put 2 and 2 together. Things she said just didn't add up anymore, like that she wouldn't leave me if I was unfaithful because of the kids, and a sudden interest in Tiger Woods' press conference about his infidelities. I made a list of 20 or more reasons why I felt she was cheating. I confronted her. She denied and denied. I wouldn't let down. Finally, she announced that the came into town. They met in the back seat of his loaner car. They didn't sleep together but she said she wanted to and he turned her down. They did kiss. He played her and other dirty crap. She didn't touch him because he was rejecting her and she didn't want to pleasure him if he wasn't going to sleep with her. This was the most hurtful thing I'd ever heard or experienced in my life. I then announced that I was going to file for divorce. She replied that she was going to kill herself and ran out the door. She spent a few hours at her mom's home and then came back. She slept on the sofa that night. The next morning, I quickly left for work. She called me to tell me again that she was going to kill herself. I told her not to do anything stupid and she hung up. I got a bad feeling so I called the police. They met me at the house to find out she had taken a bottle of pills. They rushed her to the hospital. She came very close to dying and it took the emergency personnel 14 hours to stabilize her. After a week in a psychiatric ward, I then took her to a well-known rehab. She spent 30 days there. As it turns out, while there, she and a boy half her age, 21-year-old, engaged in bonding. First encounter they kissed, second encounter she gave him a job, third encounter, with a protection. He put it in but as soon as he did, a security guard was approaching so they stopped before it continued. He left the rehab the next day and they didn't continue their relationship. Again, I got a bad feeling about that place. I pulled her out of there and took her to another rehab for 30 days. They got her straightened out. She now does not drink or take pills and has no desire to do so. She frequently goes to NA or AA meetings as well. When she came home from rehab, she revealed that she was taking anxiety pills, weight loss pills, even though she weighed barely 100 pounds at 56, sleeping pills, had tried Oxy for a month but didn't like it, was smoking every day, and was severely depressed. She was in a verbally and emotionally abusive work environment. Our kids were getting uncontrollable and she felt like she was failing as a mother, and she felt that I no longer loved her. We were making love every week, had date night every Friday night, and went out with another couple every Saturday night, but we did fight on occasion, mostly about her excessive spending, and I withheld affection at times based on my anger towards her. She also revealed that 3 months before her meeting with the old high school boyfriend, she picked up another 21-year-old in a nightclub that she visited with a now ex-girlfriend. She told me that they kissed and he went up her shirt but that nothing else had happened. Her infidelities were limited to these 3 men, all within a 5-month span and at the height of her depression. She is tremendously remorseful, filled with guilt and shame, and can't believe she allowed herself to engage in this behavior. She has been cooperative with answering my questions, but has trickle-truthed some of the information. She has also claimed that she swore she told me something previously, and didn't recall that she hadn't revealed an important fact. She said that the was merely a distraction from the drudgery of what had become her life. She said that while he paid her attention, he never made her feel good and couldn't provide her with any real emotional support. She also said that since he rejected her by not having intercourse, she felt that she even failed at her affair. She also said that this was largely why she carried on in rehab. I was rejecting her, the kids were rejecting her, her mother didn't want to hear the negativity anymore, and her OM rejected her. She wanted someone to make her feel pretty and wanted. Hence a horny 21-year-old, she has also been tested for STD and is clean. One of my concerns is that the first rehab diagnosed her with borderline tendencies, narcissistic tendencies, and a love addiction. While she was clearly exhibiting borderline characteristics before she went to rehab, she says that she doesn't have a love addiction. She said, "I don't wake up and want to run out and sleep with someone. I just want to feel loved, that I am now giving her what she needs." She says it's more of a relationship addiction, and our therapist concurs. My mind, however, is running wild with paranoia and concern as a byproduct of her wanting a relationship was getting physical with these men. We have been in Imago couples therapy for the past 8 months since she has been home from rehab. It has completely changed our marriage for the better. We communicate, have real intimacy, and the kind of marriage we could both only dream of. We both go to separate private counseling every week as well. I have challenges with her infidelity. I am disgusted to think that she gave something so integral to a marriage to another man. I am saddened to think that the fidelity and sacred purity is now gone. I find myself wondering where she is during the day, even though she texts me where and what she is doing. I have no reason to believe she's lying. It seems like I am now cycling. I have a good week and then a bad few days and then another good week. I now seem less concerned about the details of what happened, as I think I know everything that I need to know, but more concerned about her stepping out again or her having a double life. Quite honestly, I had always said if she did anything even similar to cheating, even if it wasn't physical, I'd be gone. She would feel the same. It's amazing what 24 years of prior fidelity, and 1 year of recent infidelity, 3 kids, and an unfaithful partner that was abusing alcohol and drugs and was depressed will do to one's decision-making process. Believe me, my repulsion for that behavior runs deep. While I've recently forgiven her, I will never forget. I decided to work through it because I felt she was sick, and the in sickness and in heath part of my vows was important. It was also not who she was for 24 years prior. Regarding regaining trust, she has become transparent. She accounts for her time and whereabouts. We communicate in a way we never have. She tells me how she feels and what her needs are. I make a genuine effort to meet those needs. Regarding her unpredictability, she was very emotionally sick and depressed and using over the past year, and our marriage didn't work for her. She is no longer depressed, not using alcohol or drugs, and is happy. Either my investment will turn out to be good, or I will be sadly disappointed. Time will tell. Did I mention that this experience cost upwards of $70,000? But I would pay double to not go through this and have the emotional heartache. She's very clear on where I stand with a relapse. I would like to get off of the crazy train. I have a week of mostly clear-headedness and then a few days of obsessiveness. It seems circular. Yes to how to get over that. Yes to PTSD. Yes to dealing with the trauma. We are in marriage counseling weekly and we both go independently. Is there an intensive program that I can go to that will get me straightened out? While I typically am not sensitive to those type of remarks, they were a bit of an unsettling trigger for me and put me in a funk today. We are 14 months from D-Day number 1 and almost a week from D-Day number 6. My wife has trickled truth out info over the past 14 months. While it makes my recovery more difficult, I think if I knew too much too soon, I would have bolted. At least we've had time to rebuild our marriage and establish some good before I found out what I did. Unless she is the world's greatest con artist, as many cheaters are, then we are good moving forward. If she's conning me, then I'll find out at some point and I'll deal then. Until that point, and for the sake of my marriage, kids, and my sanity, I'm moving forward with her in my life. My wife has been home from rehab for almost a year. She is incredibly remorseful, guilt-ridden, and horrified at her despicable behavior. She had only been with 2 guys before me and was never promiscuous. She was always appalled at those that were unfaithful. Her behavior was completely atypical of what I had come to know over the 24 years I was with her, and was largely as a result of her alcohol, drug abuse, and depression. She is now completely transparent, sober, and I trust her. If she steps out, I think I would know. Our relationship has gotten so much better since she has been home that I couldn't imagine her risking what she has now for something else. I can see that she was dissatisfied before, and while I could never believe anything justifies cheating, I can see how she could step out. Either she's the world's biggest con artist or we are both lucky to get a second chance. Our 3 boys will appreciate our staying together as well. Regarding the suggestion that I'm burying my head, perhaps. Will I get over it? Perhaps not. Can I have a wonderful relationship in the meantime? Perhaps. Will my heart be broken again? Who knows? Someone new can break it as well. I've read many stories here of people who get past their infidelity and have a successful, loving marriage. Why not me? My wife is certainly willing. I threatened divorce. The next morning, she took a bottle of pills in a suicide attempt. After a week in a psychiatric hospital, I took her to an inpatient rehab. She spent 30 days there. While there, she and a boy half her age, he was 21-year-old, engaged in bonding. I took her to another, all-woman, inpatient rehab for 30 days. They got her straightened out. She now does not drink, smoke, or take pills. She also revealed that 4 months before her meeting with the OM, she picked up a 21-year-old in a nightclub for kissing and touching. She is tremendously remorseful, filled with guilt and shame, and can't believe she allowed herself to engage in this behavior. She has been cooperative with answering my questions, but has trickle-truthed some of the information. She says she never wants to go back to that bad year and engage in that behavior. We have been in couples therapy since she has been home from rehab. We now communicate, have real intimacy, and are happy with our improved marriage. We both go to separate private counseling every week as well. My problem is that I have challenges with her infidelity. I am disgusted to think that she gave something so integral to a marriage to another man. Then, I am saddened to think that the fidelity and sacred purity is now gone. I find myself wondering where she is during the day, even though she texts me where and what she is doing. I have no reason to believe she's lying. It seems like I am now cycling. I have a good week and then a bad few days and then another good week. I am worried about her stepping out again or her having a secret life. I don't want a divorce. I see improvements in our marriage over the past 8 months. Since her return from rehab, things would be much better if I could let go and get off of the crazy train. I bring up questions and things that upset her, and it sometimes escalates into an attack by me. I'm feeling down and don't understand any of it. We started dating in 1986. No incidents of unfaithfulness either while we were dating or while we were married, up until October 2019. My anger issues were that I would get mad if I ordered water without lemon and the server would bring a glass of water with lemon. Or if I asked for foam pillows in a hotel room and we would check in and there would be feather pillows. Or I would get mad at the incompetence of people I had to work with. My control issues were mostly because my wife and I behaved in a parent-child relationship, with her spending every penny she could and me complaining and subsequently paying the bill. That sort of stuff. I was 21, she was 18 when we started dating. She has made comments about not having experienced many other guys. Also, we had poor conflict resolution through most of our relationship. It's only now that we are working on that to develop those skills. The alcohol, drugs, and antidepressants were a bad combination. She was super depressed. I don't think her thoughts were rational. Has anyone considered suing the OMRO? 10 months ago, today, my wife attempted X herself after she revealed her affair and I threatened divorce. Uninsured medical expenses associated with that visit were over $3,000. She then spent 70 days in treatment at an uninsured expense of $70,000. Counseling for me, her, and us have now totaled over $10,000. I wouldn't want to be vindictive, just make a statement to society that it's not okay to screw with a married person. My motivation would not be about money, but to make a loud public statement that cheating comes with consequences beyond just hurting people. The more consequences that can confront people, the less likely they are to stray, I would think. Regarding my wife's role, I actually believe she had more of a role than he did. She found him on Facebook and contacted him. She complained that he didn't respond often and quick enough. She sent the naked pictures first. He persuaded her to continue after she wanted to stop the affair. I've already ratted him out to his wife so that he has consequences. I just think that if people knew that they would have to defend a lawsuit, they may give it a second thought. Just my 2 cents. In my case, the OM knew me, my family, and my wife from high school. He even complimented my wife in their initial Facebook chats about how she did well by marrying me and that he thought I was a great guy. While I would not sue, beat him to a bloody pulp, or anything else, it did make a nice thought, even for a moment. I do, however, take solace in the belief that he will one day be served his supersized karma crap sandwich and be forced to eat all of it. My wife already had hers. She had to spend 70 days away from our kids, which she actually was thankful for after her breakdown, but has tremendous guilt and shame now. She can no longer enjoy her spending sprees, and is deeply emotionally affected by the hurt she caused me. Such is the life of the unfaithful, and their spouses left to pick up the pieces. What I learned so far. 1. One seldom fears what they are not capable of or have not experienced in their life. My wife for years was worried that I would cheat on her. Not a week went by that she didn't have a don't cheat discussion with me. I never cheated, yet she did. I don't think, worry, contemplate, or obsess about her stabbing me in the middle of the night and chopping my body up into pieces and feeding me to the alligators. Why? Because I'm not capable of that. 2. Regardless of the facts behind the cheating, one partner or many, one time or lots, one night stand or years, just kissing or intercourse, the pain is the same for the betrayed partner. We try to lessen our pain by saying to ourselves, it was only, it could have been. 3. Just when we think we are doing better or healing, we get walloped or blindsided with emotion, reliving the pain. 4. We obsess about the facts or the emotion or the thought process. Did it really stop before she came? Did she really stop the second it went in and ran out of the room, car? Was it really only once? Did it truly end? Do I even really know this person? Is she leading a double, secret life? Did she think about me even for a second before she did that despicable thing? What did she say to him, her to get him, her to agree to do that? Why couldn't she stop after the first time or the time I caught you? What about the kids? What about the possibility of losing your marriage simply for a piece of ass? Why couldn't you come to me or suggest we get help rather than step out? How would stepping out fix what was wrong with you or with our marriage? I know things weren't perfect, but cheating couldn't possibly make things better. 5. How? When will it get better? When will trust be reestablished? Why am I doing most of the work to make things better? I didn't cheat. You should be consumed with fixing the destructiveness you put into motion and not want to just forget it ever happened. 6. What's with that trickle truth crap? Don't you know that lying by omission is still lying? How do we fix things, especially your cheating, lying, unfaithful ways if you are still lying? That's no way to fix a marriage. 7. To me, infidelity is the single worst experience of my life. I can't imagine anything worse, with the exception of losing a child. Not even the death of a family member can compare. We all expect our parents or spouses or friends to die at some point, but we never expect the person we love the most, the person we took vows of fidelity to, the person we sleep in the same bed with, to give something so intimate and personal to another person. 8. Never say never. The day of my wife's revelation, I told her we were through and I was filing for divorce. She ran out of the house saying, "I'm going to kill myself." Hearing my wife reveal her infidelity, the most hurtful thing I've ever heard, my response was, make it painful and don't do it here. Of course, I never expected her to do it. She attempted. I realized that the affair was just a small part of a very sick person. I got my wife the help she needed so that she could be a better person than she was before the affair. I've learned that you can never say infidelity equals divorce. You can never say that would be the end if. You just never know until you are wearing those shoes. 9. FACEBOOK deserves a number all for itself. Let's be honest. While Facebook didn't cause my wife to cheat, nor was it the reason for it, it certainly made it easier. My wife would never have talked with her 10th grade boyfriend, whom she hadn't seen or spoken to in 27 years, had I not casually mentioned that I saw his profile on FB, which led to an 11-month EA, culminating in a P of Facebook as a dating, single scene for married people. It's okay with everyone's spouses to be there because they are there as well, engaged in the same behavior. I poll everyone who cares to debate this with me. The question is, have you looked up an ex-girlfriend or anyone you've ever slept with? The answer is always yes. Most often, I get, yes, I've looked up every ex-girlfriend and everyone I've ever slept with. The follow-up question is, how many of those did you send a friend request to? And the answer is often all of them. It's just wrong. Nothing good can come of it. I remember my wife's girlfriend getting all giggly one night as she was dying to show my wife her ex on FB. I bet her husband wouldn't be happy to know about any of that. 10. Having done extensive research on infidelity following my wife's revelation, I now realize how little I knew about the subject. I also now realize how little I knew about having a good marriage. True intimacy was foreign to me. We bring what we learned from our parents or early caregivers into our marriage. We are two separate people coming together. Of course, we are going to clash and have friction. One party can't handle it and someone else makes them feel better. Next thing you know, they are doing the horizontal hokey pokey. She says she's told me everything already. I guess I'm at the point where I need to just accept what I know and let the rest go. Truthfully, it wouldn't make much of a difference anyways. I think my bigger focus is being certain we never go down this road again. My comment: I assume OP took her back. I have no problem with people taking their partners back, but don't come complain in a year or so. Because you chose this path, be careful of your choices. Story 2. I am so torn, crushed and hurt right now. My son was using his father's phone, who is also my fiancé. He asked for help on his father's phone because a text popped up and he couldn't exit out of the app. A text popped up with a woman asking my fiancé the next time they were going to screw again. All I could see was red. I continued reading through their thread and he admitted to sleeping with the woman and couldn't wait for the next time and the things they were going to do to each other. It all explains the issue we have been dealing with. He told me he had to go to urgent care because he thinks he caught a 3-dauber weeks ago. I've been tested twice and everything came up negative. He tested positive for chlamydia while I have tested negative for the past 2 times that I've been tested. He's been on antibiotics for the past 3 weeks. Last night we had slept together, of course unprotected, and he mentioned that whatever is going on we should keep getting tested because the bonding is too good to miss out on. I'm trying to figure out my next steps as we share a child together and I have a 9-year-old from a previous relationship. I'm so lost on what to do now. We've been together almost 6 years and this is the first time we've had this situation. We share a 3-year-old and I have a 9-year-old from a previous relationship who is very attached to him. She calls him dad and everything. I found out about the 3-dauber weeks ago and the cheating last night. I haven't had slept with anyone other than him in 6 years. He had to contract the STD from someone because I tested negative twice and have a 3rd test set up next week. The only support I have is his family who live close by us. They watch the kids and help with virtual learning while we both work essential jobs. We both work for the post office. I've been there for 2 years and him almost 1. We're not career yet, so our job isn't safe. We've been working 9+ hours since the pandemic started and are now looking at 11+ hours due to the start of the holiday season until Christmas Day. We have an apartment that lists both of us as tenants, as well as the kids. We both know we cannot kick either one out. I only told him in order for us to move forward, I need for him to tell me the truth, to see if he's going to admit to what I read in his phone. To be honest, I don't have a game plan yet, but I do know that I don't want to be with someone who cheated on me and could have gave me an STD. I do know I'm not sleeping with him again and turned our den, which looked like an extra room, into my bedroom for the time being. He first said he think he have a UTI and need to go get antibiotics. I told him no bonding for 2 weeks to make sure it was gone. Then my period came last week, so that added on another week of no bonding. He came back the second week and said it wasn't gone, so he had to go back and get a shot, and this time a week of antibiotics. In the meantime, I got tested twice since I had slept with him the day before he went to the doctor the first time. He keeps saying he didn't cheat on me and he don't know how he got chlamydia. He said he took a urine test, while I had blood work done for every STD, which came back negative both times. He showed me his test results and I did the same. I confronted him about finding out he cheated by saying the girl sent me a message on FB, which she did. I wanted to see if he would tell me the truth. I don't know if the other woman know he was engaged. When I leave, I don't know if his family will be supportive. His mom was upset when I called her crying earlier today. She said she support whatever decision I make because he was wrong, but I know that will change once it happens. When we move out, he can afford rent, I can't. I have debts that I got sued for that I'm making payments on, so I can't pay the rent by myself, unless I can get a certain amount with child support. Luckily, we are paying month to month and just have to give 30 days notice that we are vacating. There are a few one-bedroom units in my complex. I just have to figure out how to make it work with a son and daughter of 2 different age ranges. I know us co-parenting and not living together or even being engaged is going to destroy him, but he did this to himself. He gave his family up for this. We share 1 child together. My 9-year-old daughter is from a previous relationship. It's going to hurt her the most as she really loves my son's father. It's going to hurt her that she won't see her brother every day, and he's not going to understand why he can't see us every day. I wish that this never happened and has caused such a strain on our family. 2023 is going to already be a hard year. My comment: I just don't get how he could have slept with you last night with no protection, knowing that he has had an STD and still may. Just so selfish. All he seems to care about is sleeping with whoever he can, and cares nothing for what he may pass on. The fact that he didn't use protection with the O shows what an idiot he is. So sad for your children. Why do people act this way and ruin other people's lives? I hope you manage to sort something out and that your children can continue to see their grandparents and other family members.